Entrepreneurs and small business owners, are you feeling overwhelmed by lack of capital, growth challenges, or personal branding? You are not alone. UCS Advisors is here for you. We're professional capital raising advisors committed to helping you secure funding and grow your business. Are you ready to impress investors? Check your investor readiness with our free 45-second quiz at ucsquiz.com. We believe in you. Visit ucsquiz.com and start your success journey. And remember, always be willing to achieve your greatness.
Voted one of the top 100 jazz clubs in the world, Shanghai Jazz in Madison, New Jersey has been entertaining its customers for almost 30 years with world-class live music, great food, and a commitment to hospitality that creates an exceptional atmosphere. Plus, if you're in the mood for a creative cocktail and incredible vibe, be sure to check out Encore Speakeasy, located downstairs in Shanghai Jazz. As one of my favorite restaurants in the area, I personally guarantee you will have a great experience. Check out the music schedule, the menu, or to make a reservation, head to shanghaijazz.com. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Greens from the Garden State. I'm your host, Mike Ham. We are here at TV Yoga House in Morristown, New Jersey, with Tara Burney and Sue Vorcheimer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Of course. That was so great.
Oh my God. And unison. That's what friends do.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be like a little bit of a unique episode just because, you know, if we were normally to do just like a business, we'd come in and talk all about that business. But obviously, there's a reason that you're here. And obviously, you're here because this is your space.
Correct.
So what is TB Yoga House? If that's like not super obvious in the name.
It is a house where you do yoga.
Yeah.
Well, I am the TB and TB Yoga House, Tara Burney. But I created TB Yoga House for to do yoga, but a space where it feels comfortable, as if you were going into somebody's home, friends, family. You feel most comfortable there, where there's no judgment. You can kind of literally kick your shoes off and come to your mat, just like you would go to somebody's house, kick your shoes off and go to their couch and feel just as comfortable. Here, we do yoga.
Yeah.
So that's why it's Yoga House.
Great. And Sue, so we're going to start with Tara's story kind of like at the beginning of this episode, but I do want people to know who you are first. So tell me like a little bit about what you do and, you know, eventually like why you're here.
Yeah. I'm Sue Vorcheimer. I actually am the Director of Marketing and Communications at 1776 here in Morristown. The concept started in 2018, but here we are today in 2023, and we are more than a restaurant. We are a place in a community that also people come and feel welcomed, and we're doing a lot of things within the community and collaborating, which is kind of a part of the story of how Tara and I met, was through 1776 and passed the crown around, which we'll get into a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you learn more about how Tara came here.
Yeah. So Tara, diehard listeners of the show know that you co-hosted an episode with me last summer at the Patriots game, which was one of my personal favorite episodes because it was so like unique.
Yeah.
You know,
that was really fun.
That was a really fun day. It was really hot.
It certainly was.
Yeah. And thank God for that Wawa that was close by because we got there way too early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had time to eat and have some water.
Sit there for a while.
But it was great to be at the Patriots Stadium and just see how a game goes on, but talking to all the people who put that game on. So it was really fun.
Yeah, for sure. So through that, I remember, I think we were joking on that episode that like if I didn't have you there, like I probably wouldn't have gotten Sparky Lyle on the show. But then simply because like of your background, because while yoga is obviously like a significant part of your background, that's not like, that wasn't your first job.
Correct.
Right.
So my whole career I've been in the TV entertainment news space, working on shows like Access Hollywood, Daily Mail TV, and People Magazine. So that's been well over, I mean, I'll date myself here, but well over 30 years in the business, thriving in that career and absolutely loving it. And my side personal gig was having a yoga practice and discovering yoga for myself, for my mental state and my physical state. And then about 3.5 years ago, I decided to start teaching yoga. And my passion of teaching yoga turned into creating this business along with Sue, and we'll get into that. But yeah, so the reason I pivoted in life, leaving that entertainment TV business and going into the yoga business, was because I got laid off 3 times within 5 years. And I really got a wake-up call saying, listen, this business is not the same business that it was years ago. You know, a lot of things turning digital, nobody's running home to watch TV, especially entertainment news programs.
Yeah.
So the last round of layoffs, I was teaching yoga a lot over the summer, and I was just becoming more and more fulfilled personally in what I was doing by sharing my practice of yoga with other people and making them happy. And I thought, gosh, if I could pivot in life and teach yoga full time, I would really love to do that. But how do I do that?
Right.
And then Sue came along. I mean, Sue was in my life already. We had met. I reached out to her about a year and a half ago. And I said, hey, I would love to do like a yoga brunch at 1776. I'll come. We'll teach yoga.
I did that yoga brunch.
And you were there. Yeah.
That's when we
met. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and that's what's beautiful, right? I mean, it's, you know, living in a town like Morristown, it is a big city, but a very small town.
Sure.
It's so nice to be able to meet people organically through that. So that's how Sue and I met, did the great yoga event there at 1776. And then more things transpired a year and a half later, and here we are. So like, we'll go from there.
Yeah. Well, so I do want to just ask also, like, I mean, I know, like, you had mentioned the reasons why yoga became like a big part of your life, and you know, like how that gave you like a better mental state and like all that kind of stuff. And obviously, like, you know, like you have an Emmy. You left that part out, which I find ridiculous.
Yes. Mike is giving me a humble brag.
Of course.
Yes, I won an Emmy. Yes, Mike held my Emmy.
Yeah.
I did win an Emmy for my efforts as senior correspondent at Daily Mail TV, and that was like really the sort of crescendo of my career. I was like, gosh, I worked so hard, and I did it. I finally, you know, I mean, we all like accolades. It feels good.
Yeah, I love it.
But I worked my ass off my entire career, and now I have this, you know, award sort of highlighting the fact that, you know, sometimes, I don't know about you, Sue and I talk about this, of having imposter syndrome sometimes, where you think, oh my gosh, is it me? Like, do I deserve this? Or am I really good at this? And, you know, but then you look back and I'm like, I had an astounding career, and it was highlighted by winning this Emmy.
Yeah.
And then to go back to your question about yoga, of how it helped me through my whole life. I mean, I picked up yoga just as something to help with my physical state. Like, oh, I want to work out. I'll do yoga. You know? Growing up a dancer, and then I just kind of transitioned into yoga. But then I realized, going through a lot of things in my life, like we all do, we all have a story and we all have hardships and things to try and work through. And it was yoga that was able to help me get through that. And the biggest thing was the passing of my husband. It was sudden, and it was, it'll be 6 years in September. And had I not had yoga, I don't think I would have been able to get up off the kitchen floor. It was just something that I was able to turn to every day, mentally and physically, to help me process and to move forward.
Yeah. And I think it's great too, like, because obviously doing something like that was good for you in that moment. But now being able to take it, or not even now, because prior to this, you were teaching yoga,
just around a different,
right.
I was out in the wild. I was out in the wild teaching yoga. Yes, at different studios in Morristown, and then having private clients and some corporate clients, clients in New York. I just kind of like buzzed around, and I was like, you know, teaching where I could teach. Because again, I had no job, and I was like, I need to do something while I was looking for a job. And I was like, okay, I'll teach yoga.
Tried starting a podcast at one point.
We did try and start a podcast, but that's okay. Well, here we are, though. We're podcasting over here on something that is successful, which is yours, from the garden. And that's out there. You go.
Somehow the other one wasn't successful. I think it was more just bandwidth. But, okay, so I think that's great. And I think, you know, what I like about it, and part of that story is, like, obviously like a big thing for you, but then also now being able to take it to other people to basically like share that, you know, and now having like your own space where it can kind of be like yours, you know, like this whole space just feels very TB.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Sue, you're up.
All right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about pass the crown around, what it is, and then how it started, and then we'll eventually kind of weave our way to how you both are here on this episode.
Yeah. I think the easiest way to explain it is maybe to say where it came from first, because I think that's the easiest way for me to explain to the community as to what it is. So when we established 1776, we're through the design process trying to figure out architectural details and artwork came up. And so when we were looking for an artist, our chef, David Burke, had given me a list of artists, and I wanted it to be someone from New Jersey. It's very important to me. Collaboration, community. I'm going to say that over and over again.
Yeah.
And so I got a list. One of the women that was on the list was Kathleen Palmieri. Reached out to all of them, but I called her and we had a major connection. Tara's met Kathleen as well. And as we went through the process of design, and we came up with like 3 different large paintings that were going to reside at 1776. When we went through the 2 dining room paintings, they were beautiful and bright colors and American flag on its side, really unique. But I wanted to just kind of put a little bit of a female touch in there. There's a lot of founding fathers and George Washington and
Sure, especially around here.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. That's our history. But I kind of want to just throw a little bit of female, identity in there, empowerment in there. So her and I came up with the idea based on a Jackie O painting that's graffiti that she does. We did Lady Liberty. We thought that would be kind of tie into the 1776. Went through the process with her. And as I went through the design process and the art process with her as she was creating it and kind of dropped into her home and saw it almost finished and adding the details with her with flowers and her crown and what it was going to look like exactly, her and I established that we had a common goal, which was to give females empowerment.
Sure.
Being a single mother myself, I have a wonderful relationship with my ex-husband. My son and I are a modern family. We actually all kind of work together to create 1776, which is an odd story in itself. We can talk about it another time. But the idea is that this Lady Liberty painting became something from the beginning. I didn't know if it was going to be a foundation or something, at least a group that I could kind of bring women together, maybe do events. But financial security, being a single mom, and then meeting Tara being a widower, super important to make sure that females and women understand that it's important to create financial security and independence for us. And so that was sort of the beginning of it. And at some point it turned into pass the crown around, because we wanted to make sure that we were always passing it around. It wasn't just like one woman wears a crown and that's it, that she's the royalty. We're all royalty. And we all should be caring for each other and watching out for each other. So that's kind of how Pass the Crown Around started.
Yeah. So, like, obviously the name comes from the Lady Liberty thing because she has
her crown on. Yeah.
If anyone's unfamiliar with that. But also Pass the Crown Around is significant because of how the group operates, right? Like, talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So as the years have gone by, it's been since 2018 to 2023, obviously met some really, really amazing women, Tara being one of them. And the idea was, when I first met her and she wanted to do her yoga in the Topgolf swing suite, actually it was going to be on the patio on a beautiful day. It rained. It ended up being the swing suite, but it was a very successful day. And I love the idea of, like showcasing you on our Instagram and helping people know who Tara is. And then, of course, because we are who we are, we wanted to learn more about each other and our stories. And obviously became very engaged with Tara's story.
Sure.
Because it is a very powerful story. And she's just someone that has come from a dark place into this beautiful light, especially with this TV yoga house. The idea is, if I can help pass the crown to her, and then in return she helps pass the crown to somebody else, but as a community we're always passing the crown and giving women like a spotlight for the moment, and everyone in the community coming together and rallying together. And that's what we ended up doing when this woman Mary, a mutual friend of us, of Tara and I, we were having lunch one day. I don't know if we both understood that we both knew Tara, but when she brought her name up and International Women's Day was coming about, it was like 3 months out. It was really important. We had done something the year before, and it was like we sold out and we gave money to a scholarship fund at FDU. That was our first efforts, and it was very successful. And I really wanted to keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
And I said, I really think at this point with this Pass the Crown Around, I want to find somebody that we can help them create a business or the passion, or help them. And Mary and I both looked at each other, and she mentioned Tara, and I was like, oh my gosh, Tara has been wanting to start her own yoga studio, and why don't we help her create and find the space or create it and make it come to life? And to be honest, we manifested it that day. And I believe in manifestation now. I truly do.
Yeah.
Because we're here we are.
Yeah, right.
We helped raise the money during that lunch.
Yeah, it was so quick. And when Mary texted me and said, call Sue, she's got something to tell you. And when I talked to you and you said, this is what we're going to do for you and this is how this is going to work. And I just was like, okay, it was just kind of this wave of like, a gentle wave, if you will,
Sure.
of just kind of coming at me, starting off with that luncheon on International Women's Day at 1776. And there was like 95 women there and maybe like 5 men. But it was just walking around and seeing all these other powerful women for whatever they do. If they own their own businesses or they work for a business or they're a working mom or single, whatever. Everybody had a story and everybody was so supportive of each other, but of me. And they didn't know me, but they came just to celebrate women on International Women's Day. And then I was highlighted and being able to tell my story there, struck a nerve with a lot of people. And then the outpouring was just like, whatever we can do to help you make this happen, we will do it. And right before that, I found this space and I signed the lease the day before that luncheon. And I walked in there with the keys in my hand.
Yeah, it was like a movie.
Of this place. It really was. And I was able to hold up those keys and say, I did it. I found this space and I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the outcome of that luncheon was going to be, but I just knew this felt right. When I walked in here, it didn't look like this, but it looked different. I made it my own. But when I walked in here and when I spoke to even the management people, like it just worked. I said, what is the lease? What is it? They said, you tell me. I was like, who management company does that? So
Yeah. You got
yeah. But I mean, again, just beautiful people in this community and the landlord said to me, we just want a business in here to thrive. And if we can do whatever we can to help you thrive, have at it.
Yeah.
And then I walked into that luncheon and then had the keys and said, this is it. We're doing it. And here we are. Like, it's incredible. And again, the outpouring of support, just even in words and then physical actions, and donations and gifts and, is beyond anything I can imagine. But I said to the beautiful people who did my floor and my walls, again, floor and walls make me cry now because it's so important to me that we spend our time here on the floor. And the floor that there was carpet here, I pulled it up, and the subfloor that was under there, I was like, I'm gonna make do. I'm gonna put tape down. I'll put mats all over it, like whatever. And then I thought, gosh, this is the space I needed to be comfortable. And this beautiful company came through and put a floor in for me and painted the walls. But I stood in the corner back there with one of the guys, and he said, I met him. In 5 minutes, we were crying in the corner, holding each other. And he just, again, he's a beautiful person who was just like, somebody's looking out for you, receive it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was very hard for me to hear because it's very difficult for me to receive.
Yeah.
And be open. And I said, if I have learned anything, it is to be open to receiving so that I can, in turn, give back.
Sure.
And if it's through the lessons of yoga, where people can come here and just retreat and chill and not think about whatever is going on in their lives, then everything that I have suffered is worth it to be able to give back. And then in turn, through Pass the Crown Around, we are like building and we are giving so that other people can receive.
Yeah. No, that's great. So for time,
Yes.
we're going to take our break.
Okay.
And I do like where we're at right now. So I think the second segment, I know exactly where we're going to start. But I should because I'm the host. So this is great so far. So this is the Greetings from the Garden State podcast. I'm Mike Ham. We're here at TB Yoga House in Morristown, New Jersey with Tara Burney and Sue Vorcheimer. We'll be right back. The Mayo Performing Arts Center is the heart of arts and entertainment in Morristown, New Jersey. MPAC presents over 200 events annually and is home to an innovative children's arts education program. To see MPAC's upcoming schedule of world-class concerts, stand-up comedy, family shows, and more, head to mayoarts.org or just click the link in our show notes. Bored of going to the same park? Want to try a new local adventure? Well, then check out njspots.com, your home for finding a new spot to discover right here in New Jersey. With dozens of maps to check out, local hiking spots, family-friendly places, and seasonal suggestions, NJ Spots is waiting for you to find somewhere new to explore. That's njspots.com.
Hi, it's Brian from Operation K9 Beethoven. In partnership with Greetings from the Garden State podcast, check out our new t-shirt with their logo on it. All sales benefit Operation K9 Beethoven, helping veterans, family members, and first responders one paw at a time. For more information and to buy a shirt, go to OperationK9Beethoven.com.
All right, we're back for our second segment of this episode of Greetings from the Garden State. I'm Mike Ham. We're here at TB Yoga House in Morristown, New Jersey with Tara Burney and Sue Vorcheimer. So we learned a little bit about both of your backstories, what Pass the Crown Around is, what TB Yoga House is, and kind of why you both are on this episode together right now. So I want to go back to how we finished up segment 1 and talk about, because like you had the keys, right? And you knew that there was going to be this luncheon, and you knew that you were going to be the person of honor, the woman of honor.
Yes, correct.
You had the crown.
I was getting a crown.
Right, you got the crown.
Yeah.
And so did either of you think that, like, cut to this, that this was going to be like the outcome of that one day, basically? 'Cause that's really what it was, right? Like that one day basically spiked, and then like a week later, I feel like you were open and ready for business. So I feel like that's what it was.
It was a very quick turnaround. Yes. I mean, leading into that luncheon, I think I had the momentum and encouragement of Sue and Mary to say, you know, we're going to get this done. I didn't know that this space was going to come about. I thought we would have the luncheon, see what the support is, see, you know, if there are any gifts or funds raised or anything like that, and then take that and then maybe just wait for something to come, or then start looking and see like where I could go with it. But again, the way things happened, how I was able to get the space right beforehand and then having that luncheon and getting an overwhelming support, I was able to easily then get in here and do most of the work myself, you know, ripping up carpeting and scraping walls and tearing the sign down and all that kind of stuff. But I had that support behind me, and people kept just saying, whatever you need, whatever you need, whatever you need. And then this gift registry happened, and then people were getting me the blocks and the mats and the, you know, everything that I needed to make this successful. And then I remember working with the app company who like runs the scheduling and stuff. And they said, what date are you looking at to open? And I said, April 17th. It just came out. And I was like, April 17th. And he was like, all right, we're going to make this work. And so that was it. I mean, that was March 8th.
Yeah.
And then April 17th, I was open. The doors were open and people were taking classes.
Yeah.
I think what's super cool about that story, to interrupt, but I love how, and I think it's an epiphany to me and maybe to you as well, it sounds like it, that when I think most of us, we have so many ideas and we want to do things, but when you don't have the support or your cheerleaders, and I think that's the big thing about Pass the Crown Around in this community that we're building. When you have cheerleaders, all of a sudden you're fearless, or you like have much more confidence. And I think, and I remember you saying, well, I don't know how to do a silent auction. And I'm like, I really don't either. I mean, I've done one before, but we're going to just do it. Like, just trust me. And I don't even know why I was even saying that, but I feel like when you have people working together, and again, you're cheerleaders and it creates a foundation of just strength. And I feel like it just all happened because we were all just pushing forward, and it shows people that it's so encouraging to other people. And that's what I love, is showing what you did. And you're such an inspiration to other people. And that's what you want to do, is create, things. You can do things if you have a group of people behind you, supporting you. And you can create it's limitless what you can create.
Oh, 100%. And I had, you know, that passion in me, again, going back saying like, oh, if I could pivot in life and teach yoga and share my passion and help people. But I didn't. I'm not a business owner. I don't know how to open a business. Right. You know, whatever. Well, if you follow your passion and you have people in your corner, the two coming together are explosive and things can happen.
Yeah.
So, and it's about being open too. Again, I was very shut off. I would never ask for help ever. Like most of my life, I've never have. I've just like, okay, I'll just go along my way and I'll figure it out. I'll just figure it out. Yeah. So having my cheerleaders and this amazing group of women, and then bigger than that was the community, and then bigger than that was family and friends. So it was just this whole, again, I can only equate it to a beautiful, gentle wave coming over me and just kind of riding me into shore, into community place.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah, which is appropriate.
Stay
on
for sure. Yeah, the universe. But what I think is just interesting too, because I don't even know if you remember this, but I was at Newark Airport. It was like late January, and you called me to say that you want to introduce me to Sue, even though we had already met at the yoga thing, but because she had like this thing that, you know, was gonna like, and she wanted to talk about it on the show, and I was like, okay, like I was like, I didn't even know what it was. And then like we talked about it more and then I think when we talked about it the first time, I forget when it was, but the way that you described it to me, I think was like, just like the mindset of the very beginning was like for that first full year, like Tara was going to be like wearing the crown, and then the next year would be somebody else. And then has that changed? Because obviously, like, I feel like that timeline sped up quite a bit because that was in like you said, April 17th.
We did it in a month. I was like,
it's like January. We had that conversation like January 28th. So it was like literally 3 months, and boom, here we are.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think, and I understand what you're saying. But the idea is, this is super important. I feel like I want to be a community that doesn't just like, here you go, and let's move on to the next. I think it takes so much more. I mean, I think that the momentum of continuing, having Tara come on board to our 1776 Connects as an affiliated partner, which I can explain on another podcast.
Right. We are.
Because you are also an affiliated partner. See, and this is how we create. My dad always said, partner with people that you want to work with, and that you also have the same, thoughts and feelings about the world, the universe, and so here we are, making things happen and working with people that we like. But the idea is that it just the momentum of, I don't want to just be a part of something and then like let's next. Like, how do we really create a community and bring you in more? And then and it kind of has been this like kind of organic happenings. We just had a really big event at 76, the Grill Off, and I realized like it'd be super cool, instead of me being the host, let's have Tara be sort of our in-house MC. I mean, she obviously is extremely talented. It was her career. And so magically, Kelsey Grammer was there. We had the Jets and the Giants. So she ended up sort of like making it feel like we were creating an episode for one of her shows because she was creating just a different environment, made it much more exciting for our guests. And I feel like we do a lot of events like that through 1776, and we'll do more with Pass the Crown Around. So kind of really kind of weaving you into the like the community of our space, and then always promoting her on our Pass the Crown Around Instagram, and vice versa, just sharing each other. So I feel like she's always like, the point is we're all wearing crowns.
Right.
It's less like, think of like those makeover shows, right? You do the makeover, you see the reveal, and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah.
You don't know if they went back to the dirty old house that they that they let it go, or they had a full body makeover and they just don't care anymore, right? And you never hear from them. Yeah. The idea that Sue's created and Pass the Crown is that no, you're constantly part of the along the way, and you're just kind of like scooping up other people, to help them too, and you're creating this bigger community, and it's
almost like a cast of characters that are part of our world.
And each person has something to give to the other person.
Right.
So somebody might be successful in marketing or business or finance or real estate or whatever, and you just pick up these nuggets of information and things that can only help you even more. Along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do want to make sure that we talk a little bit about TB Yoga House and kind of like how it works here. So I know like you teach most of the classes.
I do.
You do have a couple people that teach some classes here and there, but take me through, like, if I'm a first timer, what do I do? What should I expect? Like, how does this place kind of operate?
Well, if you're first time to yoga, so I have all different classes for all different levels. So there's fundamentals, house flow, there's a remix class, there's a restore class, there's a class for athletes. So there's something for everybody. So if you're a new timer and you're coming here, fundamentals is probably for you. You go through my website and you find the schedule of that class. All the descriptions of the classes are on there, so you know exactly what you're getting once you walk through the door. And once you book that class, you come in and you can borrow a mat. You don't need anything. You just need you.
Right.
And I got you.
Yeah.
You just, that's it. You just book online, or you could come in and I can help you book a class when you come in. You just walk through the door and hit a mat.
Right.
And go through the flow.
And you still do like, private stuff. You still do corporate
stuff. So I have, I do have private lessons here, and they're usually in the afternoon because I teach in the morning and at night. So usually in the afternoon. I also have corporate clients. So if there is a corporation that's listening that would love to give their employees some mental stimulation and relaxation, I do just like breathing exercises and some mindfulness and easy stretching that they can do even in their office chair. So I do that, or I can do actual full lessons with them. And then private lessons at home as well. So there is something for everyone, and it is a no judgment zone. And
I've even done it.
you have done it.
Yeah, a
Okay.
couple
Sue has been here as well.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Feels
Yeah.
like
I just stick with the fundamentals because usually I'm just like in rough shape and I come in here and I'm just like, I just want to like
That's
stretch
what
out.
it's
a little
for,
bit.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
One of my clients today said she's having some surgery and she won't be able to. So she's a monthly member. She loves coming. So I have monthly memberships. I have packages and drop-ins. She's a monthly member. She comes 3-4 times a week. She loves it. So she's having the surgery and she said to me, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do because I have to wait until after the surgery to see. And I said, just come in and lay on your mat. Just come and lay. And she's like, oh my gosh, can I do that? Like she just wants to be here
Yeah.
for that same experience. So whether you're actually moving on your mat or not, you're here, you're breathing, you're outside of here.
Yeah,
You
shut it off.
But shut it off, right.
Yeah.
And so, and that's what's important, and that's what I wanted. So if you're a fundamentals person, meaning like you don't know, and you don't even know how to spell yoga,
Right.
you can come and feel just as comfortable and make yourself, get through a class or a house flow class, whereas you've done yoga before. And, I give modifications and adjustments, and I'm constantly just feeding you with information
Yeah.
of how to do yoga. So there's no intimidation needed.
Right.
Leave it at the door.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things, because I've taken your classes at other places, and then obviously I've taken a couple classes here, and that's one of the things that I've always liked about taking yoga classes from you is that not that the other people are intimidating, but it's like, when you have like a really diehard yogi and they're just like, we're talking about spirits and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm here to stretch. Like, let's go. And not that you don't like have kind of like that same kind of aura, but also just like it's fun, at this exact same time. Like, it's not like
best music.
everybody. Yes.
I love the
definitely agree with
playlist.
that. And that's a big thing.
Yeah. Right. And I just, it's just me. I can't be any other way. Like I laugh, I cry. I cried this morning. I'm giving my dharmas, and my dharmas are short and they're sweet. It's just a matter of like just coming, be present, and just be in the moment. And then let's move. Let's breathe. Let's flow. Let's stretch. Let's have fun. There's other people doing heart surgery and saving the world.
Sure.
I'm just helping you breathe and move your body.
Yeah.
And I want you to feel comfortable while you're doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so I do want to flip it back to pass the crown around just to keep ping pong. But so if people are listening to this, and I would imagine, like the majority, well, not the majority, half my audience at least are women. So if they're listening about pass the crown around, like how do they get involved with that? Like how does that work? Is it like a membership thing? Like how do they?
I'd say what's interesting about pass the crown around right now, is that we are organically figuring out what our next steps are. But what we do know is that we're onto something really beautiful. And we want to take it slow, but what we do have is an Instagram account. So that's a place where people can follow us right now. All of the events do take place at 1776. So certainly I'm there most every day. And we're looking to do more Pass the Crown events there. And we are growing 1776. So I hope to spread the message as we grow as a brand. But yeah, I would love people to follow us and kind of DM and just if there's things that they're or people they want to help or causes or just something cool and fun, and it's all about.
I know somebody who needs the crown.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe they're the next.
But more to come. We actually are really thinking about this as a bigger, broader initiative.
Yeah.
Potentially. Yeah. To grow. So. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, but I think that's just so cool because, like I mentioned before, just knowing kind of we're recording this in June. This is probably not a post I said in August. And just knowing like even that is a short amount of time from when you first called me about what Pass the Crown Around was.
Yeah.
And knowing like how much success it's had because of we're in this space right now, I think is really cool. And obviously like does have a lot of legs to do more things and be more successful and help more people and kind of build out that community, which I think is great. So we're kind of coming up on the end of this. I know that it's probably flown by when you're having fun, but I think it's just so cool. And, like, do you ever, I'm sure you do because every time I either drive by here or walk by here, You're sitting
The
there.
windowsill.
But you're literally like here all the time. I don't even know if you go home.
No, I didn't. My daughters are like, "Where are you?"
I'm sure they know.
I'm
Yeah.
here.
But is it crazy to think that, like, you know, because obviously, like, when we first met, you weren't working, I don't think.
No.
Right?
Mm-mm.
I
was
think when we
laid off.
first met, maybe you were, but maybe not. I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But then to kind of see, like, now you basically wear yoga clothes full time. I don't think I've ever seen you since this. I have not seen you in anything but yoga clothes. Not that that's a bad thing.
No.
I'm just saying.
No,
But just to be like, have your own space and just be living the life that, like, you were trying to manifest for a while.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, one, when you know your car recognizes where you go, right, all the time, and it comes up on the map and it says destination, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when I get in my car every morning, it says work, 4 minutes. To me, I have never had a shorter commute in my life. I have always commuted into the city, which has been an hour plus. When I lived in LA, it was 2.5 hours plus.
Lord.
So I've never, since I started working in the city when I was 18, I've never had a shorter commute. So 4 minutes from my house to here is amazing. But when I open this door every morning and I walk, oh, now I'm going to cry. I just walk in, I go, hello, beautiful. Like, it's a space that, you know, feels good every time I walk in it. And I know that I hear back from the clients and they say the same thing. Someone says, I feel like I've been transported to California. Somebody says, I feel like this is my home, but better. What? I mean, that's a huge compliment. You know, home, but better. Like, and yes, and I got cute yoga clothes to teach every day.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're really comfy. Other than, you know, rather than dressing up every day. But yeah, it's been, it's not even like a chaotic whirlwind that's happened. Again, it's just been so, just like a, you know, I'll equate it to breath in yoga, like inhaling and exhaling. And I'm just watching the waves of people coming in, repeat people are coming back. They're referring it to their friends. They're coming in. New people walk through this door every day. And find something that they needed in here. Yeah. And so that makes me so incredibly happy.
Yeah. Me too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're going to put all these in the show notes, people can click them.
Yes.
But website, social handles, let's get them so that people can hear them and then know where they need to go to come here and do yoga.
Absolutely.
Learn more about you.
Absolutely. So Instagram is Tara Burney and TB Yoga House. And then website is tbyogahouse.com.
And Pass the Crown Around's Instagram is?
Pass the crown around. And and also, I mean, because I am in charge of social media and marketing and all that over at 1776, super important, 1776 by David Burke on Instagram, and Sue Borsch, if you want to follow me personally.
Sure.
But I think it's important to follow 1776 too, because the events that happen there are all with a purpose. You know, they're all some sort of, you know, it's, you know, they're fun, but they're meaningful. There's something, you know, so for people to get an idea of what that brand is, and, you know, it has amazing food, it has amazing drinks, it has amazing Topgolf, they have music, they have everything that you need. I'm like your spokesperson now.
Thank you.
But it's that back end that there's something there that it's always giving back with the events, whether it's 1776 Connects or just any other event that comes in, even if it's like a drink sponsored event, there's something good behind it. You know,
fun.
So,
it's fun, too. Just fun. Sometimes you just need to have fun.
Yeah, of course. Let your hair down a little bit.
Yeah. Let your beard out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this has been great. I know, you know, I had to put it off a day, but I'm glad that we finally got it done and did this and talked about it and shared your story. Because, like I said, we've had you on the show technically.
Yes, but you have new listeners, right? So
yeah, we have like way more now.
I know. That's what I'm
pretty
saying.
wild.
I'm from the Garden State's the bomb.
Thank you. And I'll make sure that I put the Yoga House, TB Yoga House, all their links in the show notes, as well as the Pass the Crown. Every link and social handle that we just shared on the show will be in the show notes, along with greetingsfromthegardenstate.com, which you can go to. That's our website where you can get all of our episodes that we've had over the course of the last, at that point, it'll almost be 2 years, which is pretty wild to think. So Tara, Sue, thank you guys so much for doing this with us today. So this has been the Greetings from the Garden State podcast. I'm Mike Ham. We were here at TB Yoga House in Morristown, New Jersey with Tara Burney and Sue Vorcheimer. I'm Mike Ham. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.